So, Monster Hunter as a game series has been around for a while. And since Wild is coming out soon, I was thinking back on a game that I played kind of recently. And that would be Monster Hunter Rise. And so, Monster Hunter Rise was a very fun game. And compared to a lot of other games that I enjoy, it was very action packed. The entire idea is basically you and maybe a group of friends versus a giant monster creature that you gotta fight against. And what makes Monster Hunter so fun is that after you fight that monster, you can use its parts to make yourself stronger. So if you fight the monster, you can use its tail as a sword, or use its scales as armor for yourself. And it just kind of builds up on that throughout the entire story, where you're constantly fighting stronger monsters, getting better armor from those monsters, and you just keep doing that. And that's kind of the main point of the game. The game's hyper repetitive in a good way, where you can make almost infinite different types of builds, because it has 14 different weapons. A different weapon for you, has a different play style for you, has a different armor type for you, and it goes on and on and on. So, if you're wondering what weapon I use, personally, in Rise specifically, I was an Insect Glaive user. And if you have no idea what the Insect Glaive does, Monster Hunter Rise, or at least most Monster Hunter games, you're kind of stuck on the ground. And the Insect Glaive is one of the very few weapons that before Rise let you jump up into the air and attack monsters in the air. And so that's kind of what makes it fun, being able to move around the battlefield in the air. Now, what Rise does that kind of adds on and makes it even more fun and interesting is that it allows you like a whole bunch more mobility compared to a lot of other games. So in other games where you just be walking around just carrying your weapon and that's all you could do, in Monster Hunter Rise you could use like a rope and climb up a cliff. Or you could send out some thread and hang in midair. Or you can ride on top of a monster and make that monster fight another monster. Just a whole bunch of different mobility and fun stuff that you can do that doesn't even have to use your weapon. You can do those things with any weapon type. And then for the game story, Monster Hunter games are very good games, but they're also not games that you're going to hear about their stories very often. Their stories are good, but bare bones. Most of the time the story is you interact with a couple characters, then you go on a whole bunch of quests to fight some monsters, and then you come back in to talk a little bit more with certain characters. And that's kind of the entire story, like 9 to 10 times. So, Monster Hunter Rise, very fun game. Great weapons, even if I didn't talk about all of them. Great movement, even if I didn't talk about all the different things you can do. And it's a great game to experience and pick up, you know?